You ever look at your paint rack and go, man, I wish all these were speed paints. But you don't want to drop another paycheck on an entire new set, right? So what if I told you you can turn any paint, yeah, any old crusty bottle that you've had since 2016 into a legit speed paint? Today, we're going to be busting out the Army Painter's secret weapon, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. All right, this stuff isn't magic, but it certainly feels like it, right? This stuff is basically what they use for the Army Painters brand of their actual speed paints. But what the benefit of this is, you can use any paint and turn it into a speed paint medium using your normal paints. So we're going to do that with an example today, but I want to show you some tips on how to use this stuff first. When you get it, right, you can see it right here, it'll separate. So I highly recommend putting some agitators in there. I have some agitators right here. We're going to add to this today. Ooh, there we go. All right, I actually got these two different sizes from Monument Hobbies. They sell their agitators that come in their bottles by default separately. So we're just going to pop this open real quick. You can actually pull this off also. It's a little bit of a pain, but you can do it. There we go. I totally punched the camera to do that, but it comes right off. All right, and we're going to put a big one in there, a little one in there, a big one in there, and a little one in there. When you're buying this, I highly recommend buying this larger bottle that I have here. This is the, where's my ounces on here? This is the 100 milliliter slash 3.3 ounce bottle. So we're going to get that on there. We got agitators in there now. So we're going to give this a nice shake here for a minute, and we're going to come back when this is gone. All right, I gave that a good shake for probably about 30 seconds to a minute, and you can see that all that at the bottom is now gone. So now we are ready to rock and roll with our speed paint medium. The example that we're going to be using today is this yellow green, and we're going to be painting some very small D&D goblins I have been sitting on a shelf for, God, longer than I'd like to admit, that need to be painted. I have 6 of them, and of course, we want to do it fast. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this. Let's go ahead and talk about that. We're going to go ahead and just do 1 drop so we can get a good ratio count here. I'm not going to bother putting this in a wet palette or anything like that right now. So we got 1 little drop and a wipe. And to start off, let's do 3 drops. 1, 2, and I think I got like a little bit of a pour out of that on the first one, but it'll be all right. So on this, we're going to use a brush that we can load up quite nicely, and a little junk brush. I'm not really too concerned about how pretty some tiny little goblins are. This is still a little too thick. We are at the paint consistency still. So let's add a little bit more. Each paint is going to be a little bit different. Each brand is going to be a little different. I hate the make it the milky consistency that everybody likes to tell you. What milk? Whole milk? 2% milk? Right? Now, once you see that this is starting to like feed off the edges, you have speed paint, which we've pretty much got. And that's pretty good. And we're going to use our guy here as an example. And let's see how this goes. And we'll just keep adding medium to this until we find how many drops that we actually like. Because I have 6 of them. So let's go ahead and just do it now. So we're going to take our regular paint, put it on our palette, added 6 drops. And now we're mixing like a Skyrim potion. And we're going to put it on this bad boy and just let it do its work. And let's see how it comes out. I've super loaded this brush. I'm just really going to cover this entire little goblin, even though he's got like a bunch of armor and stuff like that. We're just going to basically base him green. All right, so this is 6 drops. We are going a little heavy, but that is okay. And we can kind of see this. Let's control it a little bit better. Really did floop it on there pretty heavy. And we're just kind of getting in all the little spaces and neck. And we're going to let that set for a minute. A brush clean from that paint. And we can already kind of see that it's running and highlighting the edges. I didn't even bother priming him because it is the like D&D ones, and I wanted to show how the white came through. Let's get zoomed in a little bit here and see how this is going here. We're super zoomed in. We move that out of the way so we can actually get some contrast. Yeah, you can see dark in the lower places and whites on the higher rises. So that actually did kind of work out. So let's do a little bit of experimenting. Try not to touch his body. There we go. And let's go. Here's another one. Let's go 3 more drops. So that's going to be 9 drops. 2 and 3. I guess I did a little bit of more paint than probably. But let's go. You can see the color tone change. So that's probably what we're looking for. Oh yeah, we're super runny now. I almost want to do 3 more and just kind of see where we get. Let's try this one. Let's clean the brush this time. Maybe that was the problem. Maybe we had too much real paint on there. All right, now we got a clean brush. Let's load it up, and we're just gonna squish. And we're just gonna pull this down. Super, super heavy. Super still zoomed in. My bad. We're really just painting the entire booty green here. Not too worried about these tiny little goblins. We'll just base them green here. And we're doing it fast on purpose because it's supposed to be a speed paint. All right. So if you did paint this with a zenithal or anything like that, this would definitely show up. You're seeing it a lot more at that time. Look at that. Yeah, right there with my junky brush. You can see that the whites, the top points, and it's setting into the recesses really fast. And if we let this dry, should we push the envelope? Let's push the envelope. Let's do 1 more. Have another one. And we're gonna add 3 more drops. So that's gonna put us what at that was 9. That was like 4 more. We're gonna push the envelope on purpose this time. Clean my brush. We're gonna swoosh this around some more. And let's see. Look at this consistency. Yep. Now it's super runny. That was probably 4 more drops. Oh yeah, look at that. Now it's running. Look at this. Yeah. This one I'm probably gonna like. Super heavy. We're just trying to bloop it on right now. Oh, I think that was the money. I think that one was the one. 12 drops. 12 drops to 1 drop of 1.5 drop of paint. That looks, that might be a little too gray. Looks good with my eye, but looks really light on camera in comparison. So let's give these a moment to dry. That's it. I'm gonna go ahead and just paint the rest of them with that as we wait for these guys to dry. And I'll be right back. All right, so we're nice and dry here. So this left one is the first one we did in the order that we did them. So you can see that this one really got a lot more dark recesses. So this was the 3 drop. You can see some on the tops are light, and on the in the dark, what you would want the paint to settle is a lot darker. This one kind of is definitely in the middle. It really just painted the entire thing green with a little bit of shading. That was, I think, what, 6 or 9 drops. And this one we went into the double digits, and it definitely can see the contrast between these two. So if you're really just kind of trying to stain the color or really almost use it as a transparent, going super diluted. So what's another benefit of this, obviously off of this little experiment, is that you can tailor it to exactly what you want to do. This is the one I'm happy with, even though they're all painted like this now, but we're obviously going to touch them up. We can do washes, all that stuff on top of these. So I'll go ahead and give you some tips and warnings off of what we've learned on this experiment here. And that is a little quick warning that it's definitely going to, as we saw in this lighter one, it is going to stain for sure, right? So you got to be very careful on where you're going to put this. It's going to change the color of whatever you base it off of as your undercoat if you go too thin. So be real careful for staining, not to overspill and stuff like that on things you don't really care about. We're using these tiny little goblins as our little test guys here, but if you're painting a Space Marine army or something like that, you're going to be really careful with this. Do a test model, all that good stuff. All right, so definitely, as I added some agitators in there and shook the holy mess out of it. So hit your protein shaker level skills going with this, and you will be ready to go. So if you see that sediment or wherever you're storing this and you see that sediment, make sure you give this a good 30 second to 1 minute shake, and you'll be good to go. But once you get it right, it's fast, smooth, and consistent. So if you're batch painting 30 goblins or just trying to get through your backlog, this is a great tip and trick to help expedite that process and not buy all your paints all over again. And you can use the paints and the colors that you already have and turn them into speed paints. Army Painter Speedpaint Medium isn't super flashy. It's not hyped. It's not a total game changer for all your painters and different quality levels and speed, right? But if you're trying to paint something small, trying to paint something fast, you got a game, D&D game tonight, and you need some miniatures on the table and at least want to get them the right color scheme, this is a great way to go. So I definitely highly recommend you buy this large bottle of Speedpaint Medium. And if this video helped you out, hit that like button, subscribe button, and drop a comment telling me what color you're going to try this with when you buy this. And remember, every stroke of the brush and swing of the blade adds character to your miniature. YouTube thinks you'll like this video right here. And if you would like to subscribe, click this button right here. And I'll see you in the next one.